In today's rapidly changing world, two major military developments are drawing global attention. Together, they reveal a profound shift in the future of warfare, happening both high above our heads and right on Europe's doorstep. Let's break down what's happening and why it matters to all of us. High above the Earth, a new kind of military drill is underway. The United States and France are gearing up for their second joint military satellite maneuver. These are called rendezvous and proximity operations, where satellites are guided to move dangerously close to other spacecraft in orbit. This might sound like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's the new reality of defense. The first such maneuver sent shockwaves through the global defense community. An American and a French satellite worked together to approach a third satellite, one suspected of belonging to a strategic competitor. With a second operation now on the horizon, the message is crystal clear. The battlefield of the future isn't just on land, at sea, or in the air, it's in space. So, why is this such a big deal? Well, modern militaries are completely dependent on satellites. Think about it. GPS navigation guides troops and weapons. Secure communications link soldiers on the battlefield. Satellites detect missile launches, and they gather crucial intelligence. Without this orbital infrastructure, a modern army is essentially blind and deaf. Nations like China and Russia have recognized this vulnerability and have invested heavily in their own space capabilities. They've developed anti-satellite weapons and highly maneuverable spacecraft that can shadow or even disable another nation's assets. For Washington and Paris, training together in orbit isn't just a show of force. It's a critical rehearsal for defending their entire way of war. It is a powerful signal that allies are preparing to fight back in a domain where the loss of a single satellite could change the entire course of a conflict. But while America and France are looking to the heavens, Germany is making a historic move right here on the ground. For the first time since the end of World War II, Berlin has deployed a permanent military brigade outside its own borders. And its destination is Lithuania, right on NATO's eastern flank, bordering Russia. This isn't just a symbolic gesture, it's a major strategic reinforcement designed to deter potential aggression, especially after years of tension and the ongoing war in Ukraine. This German brigade isn't a token force. It's equipped with cutting-edge tanks, advanced artillery, and sophisticated electronic warfare systems. Many of these capabilities have been refined based on the hard lessons learned from the fighting in Ukraine. For decades, Germany maintained a very cautious military posture, often reluctant to project force beyond its borders. This deployment marks a dramatic turning point, a fundamental shift in German defense policy. A permanent armored presence in Lithuania means NATO's eastern front is no longer just a line on a map, it is a fortified, defended barrier. If any adversary ever considered testing NATO's commitment to collective defense, this brigade stands as a tangible, visible reminder that the alliance is willing and ready to fight. When you look at these two developments together, satellites maneuvering in orbit and armored brigades digging in on Europe's frontier, you see a clear picture of how the West is adapting to new and evolving threats. The US and France are preparing for conflicts that could extend into the silent vacuum of space, where the balance of power might be decided in orbital duels. At the same time, Germany is transforming NATO's posture on the ground, turning what were once seen as vulnerable allies into defended strongholds. Of course, there are critics. Some will argue that these moves risk escalation. A satellite getting too close to an adversary's spacecraft could be misinterpreted as an attack, sparking a conflict in orbit. A permanent German brigade in Lithuania could provoke Moscow into a stronger military build-up along its own border with NATO. These are valid concerns. However, supporters of these moves argue that deterrence only works when it is credible and visible. Demonstrating strength and resolve, both in orbit and on the ground, can actually prevent miscalculation. It reduces uncertainty and sends a clear message to potential adversaries that any act of aggression will be met with a swift and powerful resistance. The broader trend here is unmistakable. We are entering a new era of global security, one that must be defended on multiple fronts simultaneously. Space, once seen as a peaceful frontier for science and exploration, is now an active military domain. Eastern Europe, once viewed as a buffer zone, has become the front line of NATO's collective defense. These are not isolated events. They are interconnected pieces of a much wider shift in global strategy. So what does the future hold? In the coming years, we are likely to see even more joint space operations between allies. We lines probably see more permanent deployments of forces in Eastern Europe, and deeper military cooperation among nations who understand that no domain, whether it is in orbit or on Earth, can be left undefended. The great conflicts of the future may not look like those of the past. They might begin not with a bang, but with the silent clash of satellites hundreds of miles above us. Or they might start with armored brigades facing off across the fields and forests of Eastern Europe. As these events continue to unfold, one thing is certain: the line between science fiction and military reality is blurring faster than ever. The battlefield of tomorrow is already here, and it stretches from the stars above all the way down to the soil beneath our feet. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown interesting, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. We'll see you in the next one.